Hey, it's Angela.
Hey, it's Richie here with your Week 14 NFL picks. Say the tallies first. Right now, it's before the Monday night game, and Angela actually has the lead, 9-8. And so the best we split on the picks, and the best I can do is tie. So she looks like she's got it this week probably. So we'll go into our picks for Week 14. Starting with Thursday game, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Tennessee Titans. This is a pretty big game for the Titans because there's a whole lot of teams in the AFC fighting for that wild card spot. All have about 6 wins. There's like maybe 5 or 6 of them that are like right there with 6 wins. Tennessee is one of them. Jacksonville, they won on Sunday against Indianapolis, who is also one of those 6-win teams. They only won 6-0, but their defense played really well, and they got it. This is a little tough for me to pick because if Jacksonville's defense can play that way, they get a pretty good chance. However, I'm going to go with the Titans right now. I think they're playing a little bit better. Mariota is playing well, so I'll go Tennessee.
I'm going for the Jaguars.
All right, going to the Sunday games, the New York Jets and the Buffalo Bills. Both teams almost won their last game. New York almost beat Tennessee. Buffalo almost beat Miami. They're about even. They're not very good. I'm gonna go with the Jets though. Buffalo, their quarterback Josh Allen, he's a rookie, which I don't think is very good, but he's so inconsistent. I'm going to go with the Jets.
I'm going with the Jets.
The Panthers taking on Cleveland. Panthers have lost 4 games in a row now, but they're still in it for a possible wild card. Cleveland, they kind of came. Baker Mayfield didn't play very well. He had 3 interceptions the other day for the quarterback for the Browns. I think Carolina's going to bounce back and try to fight for that spot, so I think Panthers can get it.
I'll go for the Panthers.
All right, the Atlanta Falcons and Green Bay. Both teams are going on a slump. In fact, Green Bay just fired their head coach.
Really?
Yeah. But Atlanta's been really underperforming. This is a tough one.
So they're both not doing great, and they're both even with each other. So they don't
have
a chance at anything right now.
Not really. They're both Atlanta's 4-8. Green Bay's 4-7-1. So basically the same records. 2 good quarterbacks. Not performing very well. I'll give the slight edge to Green Bay. It's in Green Bay. Yeah, I'll go with the Packers then.
I'll go with the Packers.
All right, Baltimore Ravens and Kansas City Chiefs. This is interesting. Baltimore is right there for a wild card. They, as I mentioned, there are a whole bunch of teams that have like 6 wins. They actually have 7, so they're actually game up on everybody, and they want to try to maintain that. But Kansas City is, one of the best teams in the league. Patrick Mahomes he's got 41 records through 12 games, which only 2 other quarterbacks have had 40 touchdown passes through 12 games in NFL history. If I'm not mistaken, they were both Dan Marino and Brett Favre. So he's an elite heir. He's actually 14 away from touchdown passes away from tying the single season record. Baltimore, they have Lamar Jackson, rookie quarterback, starting. He's actually played really well the last 2 games, led them to victories. That being said, I'm going to go with Kansas City with this. I think the Chiefs are just the overall better team.
Yeah, I'm going for the Chiefs.
All right, the New England Patriots and Miami Dolphins. This is big for Miami. They're one of those 6-win teams. They won last week against the Bills. Normally, I would say this is a cinch for the Patriots, but the Patriots have their 3 losses this year were to kind of mediocre teams, just like Miami, and bad losses. And Miami over recent weeks have been playing pretty decently against okay teams, I guess. This being said, I'm gonna go with the Patriots. I can't go. It's hard to go against Brady.
I am going for the Dolphins.
The New Orleans Saints and the Bucks. Before last week, I would have said the Saints, but the Saints did not perform well against Dallas. Their record-setting offense looked human. Looked not record-setting. Tampa Bay, they won 2 straight. Jameis Winston, his credit, hasn't turned it over in 2 games. The defense held down Cam Newton. They had 4 interceptions on Newton. So the defense is actually playing well. The offense, they're the number 1 offense in the league. And if they cannot turn it over, they can go with that.
So I was asking the question, if they're number 1 in the league, how come they're not doing better?
And the reason is their defense was bad. They had fired their head coach a few weeks ago, and coupling that with turnovers. A few weeks ago they lost 16-3 to a team where they had over 500 yards and got into the red zone, I think 4 or 5 times, and only had a field goal because they turned it over like 3 times, right? You know what? I'll go with the Bucks. Why not?
I'm going for the Bucks, but we're from Tampa. You're just like, why not?
Well, yeah, but the Saints are better, and Tampa Bay's been so inconsistent. Technically, Tampa Bay is not eliminated from the playoffs, and the NFC, they're not quite what the AFC is with all the 6-win teams, but there are quite a few 6-win teams trying for that last spot. And if Tampa gets this win, they'll go to 6-7. They'll be right there with everybody.
So 6 wins gets a wild card.
It doesn't get the wild card, but I'm saying right now that the way this season has gone, that last wild card spot, there's a bunch of teams like all even with each other for it, right? There's no like, there's
not
no
like 6 wins and you get it into a bowl.
Yeah, it's not automatic. It's not like college, right? I'm just saying just the way this season has happened, and that's for that last wild card spot. For the 5th seed, like in the AFC, the Chargers, they're I think 9-3 now. They're like by far they're gonna get that 5th seed. You know what I mean? And in the NFC, that 5th seed, I don't know if anybody's necessarily that far ahead. So I think both those spots might be. You know, it just so happened that right now there's a lot of teams like even records. So that's why these games are important to separate from each other and could become tiebreakers. So and it just so happened with the Bucks, even though they haven't been playing well, if they get this win, they'll be right there in the thick of everything. So I'll go with the Bucks there, and I think she's going with the Bucks.
Bucks, yeah.
All right, the New York Giants and Washington Redskins. This is another one of those games, and it depends on what happens tonight in the Monday night game between the Redskins and the Eagles. Because Washington is one of those teams that's right there for the wild card. New York is pretty much out of it. They're 4-8. But New York had a nice win against the Bears yesterday, which is a really good team. Washington has their backup. Like I said, I wish I could see them tonight, see how they do, but I'll give the edge to the Giants here.
I'll go for the Giants.
All right, the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans. Texans are on fire. They started 0-3, and now they've won 9 games in a row. First NFL team to do that. Colts, they're also going for the wild card spot, and they could keep it up with anybody. But I'll give the edge to the Texans. But that'll be a really interesting game.
So it's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, I think so. I think it should be.
I'll go for the Colts.
All right, the Bengals taking on the Chargers. The Bengals, they could win it, but the Chargers look really, really good. They were down 16 at Pittsburgh last night and came back and won 33-30, which you don't do at Pittsburgh. In fact, they even showed a graphic that said, in Pittsburgh's history, when they go into the fourth quarter with a 14-point lead, they're 220, 0-1. So they had never lost before in that situation, and they lost last night in their history. So Chargers look really, really good.
Chargers. I'm going for Chargers.
Denver and San Francisco. Denver's on a roll right now. They're right there. They fought back. They're right there for that wild card. And their schedule over the next 3 weeks are extremely winnable, and starting with this one, so they might get that last wild card spot. We'll see. So I'm gonna go with Denver here.
I'm going for Denver.
The Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas. This really depends on if the Eagles can beat Washington. Because if they can, that'll put the Eagles. They'll put the Eagles there for a wild card. Dallas had a huge win against the Saints, though. I'll still go with Dallas. I think Dallas is doing pretty well right now.
I'll go for Cowboys.
Pittsburgh against Oakland. Oakland is not a good team. Pittsburgh, they're a good team. Even they lost, yeah, but the Chargers are really good also. So I'll go with Pittsburgh in this one.
I'll go Steelers.
Detroit and Arizona. Detroit played the Rams really well. They ended up losing. Arizona won at Green Bay, but their rookie quarterback, who I've said sucks, he did suck, and they still won. So, but I'm gonna go with Detroit with this.
All right, I'll go for Detroit, I guess.
All right, the Los Angeles Rams and Chicago. So this could be an interesting matchup in terms of it might be a preview of a possible playoff game because the Lions already actually clinched their division, so they're getting in the playoffs. Period. The Bears, they haven't clinched yet, but they're probably at least gonna.
Wait, the Lions or the Rams? You said
the Rams. The Rams. The Rams clinched the division. The Bears haven't clinched the division yet, but even if they don't, they should still. Even if they go down, they'll probably still at least get a wild card. So this would be an interesting matchup because the Rams have a really good offense, but the Bears have a really good defense. And the Bears' offense isn't too bad, but their quarterback he was the backup this last week. I'm not sure if the starter is going to be in, but even then they should be still okay. I'll go with the Rams though.
I'll go for the Bears.
All right, then the Monday night game. This is actually a huge game for the Wild for a playoff spot. Minnesota Vikings in Seattle. Minnesota is 6-4-1, 6-5-1. Seattle, I think, is 7-5. If Minnesota can win, they'll have the head-to-head tiebreaker over Seattle. If Seattle wins, that means they're one game ahead of all those 6 and 7 win teams. This is a big one. It's in Seattle. Seattle is always a really, really hard place to play. It's really loud there. So I'm going to go with Seattle.
So, but is both teams going to be bringing it?
Yeah, I mean, either one could win. Minnesota's pretty decent. Excuse me.
I'm going for the Vikings just for competition.
All right, so those are our picks. Those are our picks for this week. Stay tuned. I'm gonna do now. The college season is over. We have the bowl games left. We'll pick the bowl games actually next week, and I'll do a bowl preview for all of those. So watch out for that. However, I will be doing more NFL games in the next few weeks, especially once the playoffs get here. I'll preview all the playoff games and all that, and we'll still do those picks as well. But just keep an eye out for all that stuff. I know a lot of people wanted more NFL stuff, so it's coming soon.
Yep.
So peace.
See ya.